Hey, today I got my S5II and we're going to look at the S5II on the Sigma 100 to 400 and see how it performs. It's going to be some pretty simple basic tests first time out. Could be some operator error in there, but we're going to do some basic nature, simple birds, squirrels, things like that, and just see if the autofocus system keeps up or not. So let's get to it. Okay, here we go. Again, these are a bunch of random clips. As you can see here, when the blue jay went behind the fronds, it went to the fronds. I would find that to be expected. But there he's coming into focus. This is a warts and all video, so it's like if it bounces out of focus, I don't cut it and clean it up. I'm letting you see what you can expect as an average user out there using the equipment. The clips are a combination of pixel-to-pixel, APS-C mode, I can talk, and full frame. So we have a combination. There is even some slow and quick at 60 frames per second in here. Now you can see definitely this little guy's a little nervous about me being there, but it's doing pretty good. I mean, way better than the S5 would do. But you can see him it's every now and then it's like jerking back and forth. Everything is handheld, so you're kind of getting the reality of this, and we're talking, especially in pixel ASPC mode, anywhere's up for the equivalent of 600 millimeters to 400 millimeters, and then there's some around 300. But I guess handheld, it's pretty high expectations to have it be totally smooth. Maybe if it was a Panasonic lens, it would be a little bit better, and it would work to smooth that out. But they don't have a lens like this, so this is why I got the Sigma, and this is why I did this quick video, so people can kind of see what their expectations would be for a Tele Sigma lens on their S5II. Okay, different clip. I tried to chase some blue jays there, but they were too fast for me. You can see this little guy. At first I got him, but then it sees the vegetation. This is in slow and quick mode, so it's 6 frames a second. That's why it's just slowly moving. But these are birds that are down here. I forgot their name offhand, but they actually dive into the water and hunt fish underwater, and it was particularly difficult to try to find him, especially in this murky water. I don't know how he was catching fishes, but to follow him and know where he's going was pretty hard, and not the best images. Thought at one point he screwed it up, but he had caught a fish, and he throws it up in the air and then catches it in his mouth. There was another quick shot I missed. Now here's this little squirrel again. You can see I'm kind of getting my footing, and once he decided I wasn't going to kill him immediately, he started moving towards me a little bit. You can still it's annoying that lens comes around. Now it lost focus there. Now part of it is I had it in focus limiting, but I don't think that's all of it. Maybe the fact he's a gray squirrel. This is kind of a gray fencing and ledge that he's on. So maybe it's having a hard time distinguishing. I can only hope that things will get a little bit better. See, at this point, I think he's come into my focus limiting range, and which is why I turned it to the side to see if I had the focus limiter on. I did. I turned it off, but it's not going to let him get too much closer to me without going out of focus again. So it had a real problem here, but I kind of have expectations, and I'm using object tracking on all of these shots. So I line up a target and then try to follow it and see how it does. So a little shaky there. Not necessarily the camera's fault. There's some laughing gulls, and I stopped it there because I wanted to see if it would pick up the egret in the back. So that was kind of nice. And these settings are all the basic settings in camera. You know, or I shouldn't say basic setting. The camera as it arrived, whatever. So I haven't tried to play with the focus and sensitivity and all those things. I just wanted to go out as it's set and just see what it does. And this is in slow and quick, so this is a 60 frames per second being run at 23.976 whatever. And it did pretty good. I mean, every now and then you see a little bit of a focus glitch going on, but you know, he's got grasses and everything in here, so my S5 would have never done this well. So I'm pretty content that out of the gate they're doing pretty good, and hopefully we'll see some updates that will make things even better. I thought the quality of everything looked good. Now I will in the future do some where I will put the camera, the S5 and the S5II on a bar together and try to take some shots and make some really one-to-one comparative shots. This is done in a 4:0 10-bit mode. For those asking, and the color is my color settings, which I'll go ahead and put those up here so you can see. When I do some other tests, I'll do it with the the standard settings. But these are the settings that I came to like with my S5 that allows me to do a little bit of editing. I'm not really I don't use Vlog that often. I just figure it complicates things for me and for the kind of things I do. So I'm just using, regular mode, but I'm using a derivation of Cinev, I believe. But I will post it up there so you can see. You see he's out of focus there, so don't know why, but like I said, warts and all. So it wasn't perfect there. It's been doing good, but then few cameras are. This was a particularly long clip with this squirrel, but I guess he cooperated with me. And amazingly, it's not jumping around as much. Maybe the fact that I'm following him versus trying to stand perfectly still in some of the other ones was I am no longer the tripod I was of my youth. But he is nice and I think looking great, and I know my sharpness is at -3, I believe. This is essentially auto exposure as well, so it's doing great there. And when I say auto exposure, this is full frame now. I just wanted to get something comparative. and me not being solid seems to be more evident when I'm trying to stay still. As you saw in the beginning of there, I was getting a little bit of that jerky movement. But as I was going on exposure, when I say auto, I am very fond of setting my aperture and shutter speed, and I may have pushed it up a little bit. It might be around 100 or 125, which is probably maybe more than it should be. But what I do for auto is I let the ISO go wherever it feels it needs to. There we're out of focus again. And I'll do that for photography too. I love how well that works with the Lumix cameras. And now that ISO can look so very good, and even if it's varying a few stops, you can barely see it. I'm sure some people will point out that they can see it, but the average person viewing your clips isn't going to worry about it, especially if the quality of the clips are any good at all. And that's when I first started, so it started out of focus and it put him into focus. He's very unsure of me and whether I'm a danger or not. He doesn't, it's early morning, he doesn't want to leave his dirty perch there. And here I'm trying to work a little bit closer, so I kind of bumped my camera. I should see I'm trying to walk closer to him, and I made him nervous, so he's trying to walk away a little bit and walking back, and he's debating whether he's going to fly, and he goes, okay, maybe I'm not going to kill him. And he's really lazy and doesn't want to take off, but I think in the end he does. These are, I believe, boat-tailed grackles. I love that little thing they do. Puff up and that noise. Now with these two, I don't know if it's this clip or the next clip, but I was using the, it was not this clip, it'll be the next clip. So it wasn't a lot of good birds getting flight, but here we got this guy. It's doing okay. It seems got him here where he's coming right at the camera. And then he's out of focus. So I would, that may be changing the focus settings to get it to work better. Now with this clip, this one where you're going to see the two gulls changing while this guy does his Tai Chi morning exercises over there. I'm going to change the focus. I'm going to sit there and use the focus joystick and pull the object tracking onto each one. and kind of show how well it's going to sit there and shift from bird to bird. I will do some with my Ninja on the camera, so you can actually see me moving the frame, basically telling the camera which I want it to focus on. I didn't use touch, I actually used the joystick in this case. So here it's on the back guy, now it's on the front guy. And then I brought it back to the back guy. Or girl. Don't know how to tell the sex of my laughing gulls. And back to the front. So that was nice. Okay, at first, when I first lined them up, it did not, but then it came into focus. But again, this long lens, and now I believe the lens was in its full focus range. These are like a lot of them down here in Florida. I think they're Muscovy ducks. They look more like a goose. And this is in slow and quick mode, so this is 60 frames per second. While I sat over there, little slow motion ripples come over there. I'm not a big slow motion person, so I'd have a specific target to really push up the slow mo more, but I will try to do some more samples. And I guess the fact that we are in slow-mo, it's kind of ironing out some of my movements. Guess he swallowed some bad water or something, I don't know. She's like a hacking on it. At some point here, I think he will decide to take a bath. I went out of focus a little bit there. Now I'll have to get more familiar with it, but especially like with my S5, if I got something like this in focus, I would use the AF on off switch to kind of once whatever I'm trying to shoot was in focus, I would basically turn focusing off or pause it so that I wouldn't get any in and out of focus. But I mean, for the most part, depending upon what you're doing, it's doing pretty good. It's not, none of the pulsing things that we have experienced in the past with Panasonic cameras, unhappily. But again, if someone's a serious cinema photographer, they probably still rely on manual focusing. And I can't say I'm that good to rely on manual focus. So I'm quite happy that we have phase detect and a level of reliability now in the Lumix S5II So he's going to continue his little thing, and this is the last clip I had to show. So I hope this was, helpful for people who are maybe on the edge of whether this is the camera for them. I will be doing more videos. I just wanted to get out quick and do something. I probably won't do anything considerable with stills until we have raw processing. Right now, the only thing out there is Silky Pix and the SE version. Don't just load their Pro for a trial or something. You have to get the SE version. It's the only one that seems to be that I found, because I downloaded the Pro version because they said Silky Pix, and it didn't work. It said camera wasn't supported, so you have to get the cheap SE version, and it will actually process the S5II raw files. But it does okay, but I'm not a huge fan of Silky Pix. I use Capture One personally, and that's going to be when they have raw processing. Then I'll be ready to really kind of judge. So I hope you liked it. If you did, if it was useful, please give me a like. It will help me to grow the channel. And if you like this kind of unedited look, please also subscribe. I have a lot more coming on the new S5II. And I'll see you next time as he goes into the weeds to hide.